it is the new fan base, isn't it? Because there's been the same people going for many, many years, and you want to reach that new fan base. So,
Absolutely. And I
hopefully.
think this will accomplish it. And when you hear the news, you can send me a tweet or an email and tell me what you think.
Yeah, yeah, will do. Um, there have been talks recently, or it was a few weeks ago, in the papers. I don't know how trustworthy they are, but of a merger between League Two and the National League with regional leagues of North and South. Is this something you would support?
Oh, well, of course. Every National League owner would support it, and every League
Yeah,
Two owner won't. That's easy. Look, here's how I see that. If there's ever a situation where there are enough football clubs in financial turmoil that we are looking at a situation in the National League where we have, for example, 8 to 10 clubs that are in trouble, and in League Two you have 6 to 8 clubs that are in trouble. If we have a real consolidation of the English football system, then I could see that as a possibility, but I don't see that happening right now. Look, the Football League, the Premier League has given a solidarity payment to us. The government has helped us as well. And right now, we're doing our best to remain solvent, right? Obviously, it's very unfortunate for our stewards and for, the people who work at the ground because there's nothing to do, with the exception of just reopening the bar area. But ultimately, we are able to continue to pay our players and our coaching staff and our management, and we're doing our best. But yeah, I would say, of course, we'd be thrilled to be part of League Two.
So progress has been made on the ground since we last spoke. Obviously, we had the new scoreboard, the club shot's been completed, and we've got new signage and cladding. Are there any other plans at the time, or is that it for the time being for the improvement of the ground?
Well, the answer is it shouldn't be it. It's just it for right now because of the
Yeah.
pandemic, right? So we have to focus on and put our resources toward the players and performing well this season. But yeah, I mean, I've got grand visions and continue to, and we'll continue to engage with council to potentially look at something as exciting as redoing an entire stand, right? But we're just not there today. That's going to
Yeah.
be down the road.
Well, the building, the council's fine at the moment. We've got Hollywood coming to Dagenham.
I
So
saw that.
film studios.
Yes.
So yeah.
Hopefully they'll shoot a few movies at our football ground, and if that really does come to fruition, which it sounds like it is, I think that's a big boost for us.
Yeah.
And the local area as well. And there might be some connectivity there, so we'll see what happens.
Have a documentary with Dagenham behind the scenes.
Exactly. I would like to do that too.
Yeah. So Tim Howard, you mentioned, is going to be in goal for Memphis because he signed in March. What's his involvement now with Dagenham? Is it reduced, or is he still involved? However little.
No, he's still involved. We have conversations all the time. He knows Daryl. He continues to advise behind the scenes. So he's just a great resource for us. Internationally, he has a lot of connectivity, not just to players but to coaches, agents. So yeah, I mean we're very lucky to have him, and yeah, he's fully engaged. Obviously, he's training and he's playing, but he's been on every call with us, and continues to follow what the Daggers are doing. The problem is, again, we're not doing anything right now.
Yeah. And what would you say about a final message to the Dagenham fans? What would be your final message to them? Because you said about a 5-year goal of securing a place in League One by 2024. Is that still your long-term?
Did I say that? I said League One? Oh boy. Look, I continue to believe that part of this has been a learning curve for us. So I appreciate the supporters' patience. But our intentions are legitimate and pure. And really returning to the football league is what we want to do. So whether it's League Two or we're lucky enough to get back to League One, which would be tremendous, we are committed to that. So we enter year 3 now. So within 5 years, we're not halfway there. I believe we've had great support from everybody.
Yeah.
I think that our supporters have been tremendous and incredibly positive. And even throughout the time where we were losing and our supporters were losing patience, they never really lost patience, in my opinion, with us. They lost patience, with Peter, which is a reflection of us. But I think that ultimately our goals are the same. And, I just want Daggers fans to know that we're coming back. We will be back. The club will be back. We'll put a strong team on the field. We're not going to, outspend everybody 2-1 or 3-1, but we are committed. And I think if you saw Daryl behind the scenes and how he lives and breathes this daily, you would be thrilled with what our plans are. The question is, when can we share all of that and when will it happen? My biggest concern for everybody is that we don't have National League football this fall. And if they don't let fans in the stadium, I don't know how many National League football clubs can afford to pay the players.
Learning curve. What are the things you've learned? Because obviously football may be a slightly different business to other sports. What are the things you've learned since your time at Dagenham?
Well, I think it's harder to get promoted than I thought. I felt that if we put, the right people on the pitch, that, it's a very hard fought game. And honestly, the other thing I'm shocked by is how quickly things turn in a match.
Yeah.
Especially in the National League. I mean, and in the last in the 92nd minute,
Yeah.
So I find that part is a little bit unpredictable and frustrating. And I think every owner comes in and thinks that they can control what happens, and you just can't. So that's part of it. And part of it is the emotional ride that you're on.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. It's a long season and it's very tiring. And you really can't let the ups and downs affect you as much as it does for, as you support a club, right? So if you're just a supporter of, of the Daggers or of any other club, whether it's West Ham or Crystal Palace, or you can go up and down. But it's very, very hard to do that when you're sitting in my position, because there's just a lot behind the scenes that people don't recognize, whether a player is actually out on the pitch, but we knew, he hadn't practiced all week because he's been hurt, or, why somebody isn't playing or is playing. There's a lot of information that unfortunately I'm privy to that everybody else isn't privy to, that sometimes makes it more frustrating.
So is it with the fans aren't allowed to know things that you do and they don't understand?
Good question, Keith. So you're going to be a very good reporter. That you already are. No, look, we try to be as transparent as possible. And I think we're pretty good about it. And that's why I like to tweet and I like to do interviews like this. I want people to know we want to share everything, but sometimes you just can't. And part of it is not sharing it, by the way, with our supporters. It's not sharing it with the competition. So that's really the bigger issue is, if we know somebody's not at 100%, it's not something I want to really share with, the teams we're playing.
I think the fans appreciate that, the way, as an owner, you're always on Twitter replying to people. So with looking back at the past couple of seasons, what would be your highlights overall since you came to Dagenham?
Oh, I mean, there's a few. I think beating Leyton Orient and Salford, right? Those were two big moments, right? It's about Boxing Day. I mentioned the Aldershot match earlier because, six goals was just incredible. So we've had some real highlights. I think that, we've also done some stuff from a community standpoint. This young boy, Finley, who was our mascot, who we helped with surgery, who's now literally walking and running. Those are the types of things that really, warm our hearts, and we'd love to do more things like that in and around the community. And, to your point, the Diversity Day, those are the things that we can really make a difference. It's been, back to your original question of, what have I learned? Everything takes a little more time than I expected. Even the improvements to the ground, I thought that was going to be done in 6 months. It took 2 years, right? So everything it takes a little longer. So I have to learn a little more patience. But yeah, I feel like, why not? Why wouldn't we go up this year? Why not? I'm not going to put any roadblocks in front. I mean, I'm not going to, again, be silly, but we're not going to put any roadblocks in front of anybody. So why not us?
Yeah. Because Barrow didn't exactly have the biggest budget, and they managed to run away with the league.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
How big was their budget? You might know better than I.
I know they weren't known for their owners, I don't think, so put it that way. But I think many fans are glad that they've gone up, so they don't have to trek up there all the way up north to Barrow. So with the low points, with the high points, what was probably the low points since you've come?
100% having to sack the manager. Peter, first of all, he taught me more about football than I knew about English football before I met him. So imagine having a real mentor, right? I mean, somebody who coached the national team, famous player, famous coach. He helped me learn so much. It was just a moment that was super unfortunate, because I really meant it when I said to the fans, and I said to Peter, you're our coach. I have no intention of letting you go. And I didn't. It just got to a point where it almost took on a life of its own. So that was very uncomfortable for me. So I say this, by the way, about Daryl now. I have no intention of ever sacking Daryl, ever. I mean, I hope Daryl's our coach in League Two, in League One. I hope he stays with us forever. Yeah. But I guess the nature of the business is such that this is part of it, and that's not the part that's fun for me. There's no pleasure in that. I think there are a lot of, board of directors or owners who, they sack this manager, sack that manager, they get frustrated, they yell, they scream. Even after bad losses, I would talk to Peter and we would analyze the match, and he was so analytical and so smart and knows so much. I learned so much from every loss, that I always felt he had a handle on it. So.
I was wondering, on a match day, how do you keep track of the game? And how does your match day go?
The difference is, if it was the same as when I'm there, I'd have to start drinking at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Which I won't do. So, but it's 10 a.m. And I sit in this very office, which I can show you. There's my here. I'll take you over. Here's all my scarves and soccer memorabilia. And here's my Daggers ball.
Yeah.
And then here's my famous Daggers. And I sit in here, and here's my signed 2019-20 jersey. So literally, if you watch our text chain, the entire match we're texting. Like if a ball goes off the post or whatever, like it's exhilarating. Well, no, when I'm at the physical ground, I usually have 2 or 3 drinks before I go to the match because I'm too nervous.
Yeah. So is there going to be, when we can, will there be a fans forum? So I know people have done online fans forums, so that's late in Orient. I know in League Two, but...
Yes, we're doing it. We're going to do a full members meeting, and then from there, we're going to do a full fans forum. So it will be, I believe, it'll be announced in the next couple of weeks. I don't know how we're going to social distance on the ground. We're going to have to figure that out, but we can definitely do it via Zoom. Yeah. I would obviously be on via Zoom, but I think we're going to try to do it at the ground and try to have people, spread apart. Maybe we could do it on the pitch. I'm just kidding. That'd be a bad idea.